Tonight, we come together searching for comfort. Day to day, we go around expecting some kind of stability or consistency, but tragic events like the murders in Isla Vista make us all feel vulnerable and hurt. Those who died were students. They were our pals from middle school. They were our sorority sisters. They were your best friend from camp. Sometimes, the gravity of these kinds of killings feels a bit abstracted. For many of us here, though, Isla Vista is a community that is all too familiar. When news reports talk of streets turned crime scenes, these are not distant ideas. You stayed in an apartment right there. You turned that very same corner one sunny day, and you just know the buildings and roads. We grew up with the people biking around this beachside neighborhood. You probably made a few phone calls when you heard the news. Many of us were able to breathe a sigh of relief afterwards. However, many others were not. We've invited some of those people to speak here tonight. We will then hear a song and light our candles, followed by a moment of silence. Let us take this opportunity here together to reject violence from our communities and search for answers and healing.
Cheng Yuan Hong, George Chen, Weihan Wang, Christopher Martinez, Veronika Weiss, Katie Cooper. Those names are the reason we're here. Those names are the reason we're here, to remember the lives of our peers and our fellow students, and to hold in our hearts the pain that everyone has experienced this last weekend. I hope that we can remember those names and come together and help each other through this difficult time. By coming here tonight and lighting our candles, we show our brothers and sisters in Santa Barbara that we stand in solidarity with them, and I just want to thank each of you for coming. I'd like to introduce Ellen Lester, the president of the Tri Delta sorority here on campus.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ellen, president of Tri Delta at UCLA. First of all, thank you for being here tonight. The tragedy at Isla Vista has been devastating to us all, as students, as friends, and as members of the UC community. To the women of Tri Delta, this tragedy has hit especially close to home. Two of our sisters of the UCSB chapter were lost in the violence, and we are anxiously awaiting the recovery of a third. To those of the Greek community, the tragedy serves as a reminder that while we have the privilege of forming connections and relationships with sisters all across the country, it also means that we are deeply affected by the loss of any of those members, no matter where they live or which chapter they belong to. To our sisters at Santa Barbara, we feel your pain and we feel your sadness. The fact that our chapter here at UCLA is so deeply hurt by the loss of Katie and Veronika is a testament to how incredible these women were. You have our unwavering support, and we will do everything we can to assist in your healing. We send all our love to the friends, families, and sisters of Katie and Veronika, and to the family and friends of all the victims, we offer our greatest condolences. At UCLA, we are all part of a greater community of UC students, and that is why we are all so deeply affected by the tragedy at Isla Vista. Please take your time to mourn the loss of life, to offer each other support, and to show your compassion. Do not be afraid to seek help or to rely on each other during this difficult time. It is only through one another that we will begin to heal. With each lit candle, we as UCLA stand in solidarity with our sister campus, UC Santa Barbara, offering our steadfast support. Again, be safe, and I sincerely thank you for all being here tonight.
I'd next like to introduce Lizzie Matusich, whose close friend from high school passed away in the tragedy.
Right now, 40 minutes north of here in Westlake Village, dozens of my high school friends are standing around a pool deck, all holding candles in one hand and purple ribbons over their hearts. Purple was Veronika Weiss's favorite color. She was an absolutely wonderful girl, inside and out, and every memory of her was nothing short of inspiring. I can still remember her genuine smile and wave that she would flash me every time I would see her on the pool deck. Tragic things happen all over the world, and as frequent as they can be, none of us ever think that we will be the victim. There are billions of people in this world. What are the chances that you happen to know the one or the few? But you do. We all do. These unfortunate victims were our friends, friends of our friends, and our peers. They were the incredible individuals who would soon play an important part in shaping our future, but these innocent souls had their life cut short. To all of you who are personally affected by this shooting, I send you my deepest love and empathy. Suffering and grief digs deep into the soul, but love, compassion, and friendship can help keep us afloat in this process of mourning. To everyone that came out here to support our community and UCSB, you are all so selfless and caring, and the entire UCSB community is endlessly grateful for our support. We may be Bruins, but we are all students of the UC system. And I know that the victims of this tragedy are smiling down at us from above, thanking us for caring and continuing their legacy. I have a few final words for all of my peers. This could have been anybody. It happened to UCSB, but it could have been us. So let us all be very wise in remembering those we have lost, and let us take this time to remember those that we have. Hug your friends a little tighter and do a little extra to make somebody happy. Smile and wave to the people who have made a mark in your life, and enjoy the beauty that is the world around us. Show love and happiness in everything you do, and savor every moment. And finally, be grateful. Be grateful of your friends, your family, and yourselves. Be grateful for those you hold close to your heart. And may we all hold the victims and UCSB in our hearts as we reach out with love, empathy, and compassion to our friends and family affected by this tragedy. I would also like to take this moment to make a small announcement. Tonight I'm also hosting a benefit concert in honor of another high school friend of mine who passed away from a rare form of soft tissue cancer. But in light of these events, my peers and I, putting together the Message and a Melody event, want to reach out and help a hand to the victims and the entire UCSB community, including Veronika and her family. As such, we'll be donating 10% of tonight's donations to the UCSB Community Fund, which was set up to honor the students who were victims of Friday night's tragedy and to memorialize their lasting impact and contributions to the UCSB community. I thank you all so much for being here, and I wish you all the best in paying your respects to the unfortunate victims, including my friends, of this weekend's tragedy.
I'd like to introduce one final student speaker, Becca Sadwick.
Hi everyone, it's so awesome to see how many people came together to show support for our sister campus and students we may or may not even personally know. It's times like these that really show us how strong our community is. And my younger sister goes to UCSB, and so I know how hard this is hitting their community. I also think it's important though that we think about something that we don't often talk about in tragedies like these, and how each of us might play a role in preventing them. If we look at the shooter's message, it's really one of pain and anguish and rejection, and one that each of the people he interacted with could have possibly prevented. Especially as women, it's really easy to feel like we have to be in the offensive when someone we don't know approaches us and looks for any kind of companionship or connection. But the shooter took women's lives, people's lives, as a result of feeling too rejected. And looking at the societal constraints that made him feel rejected, and how each of us can show a little kindness to strangers, show a little more kindness to our friends and people we come across with, maybe we could have prevented something like this, and maybe if we work on strengthening our own bonds and interpersonal connections, we will.
Now we'd like everyone to rise and come together for the lighting of the candles and Amazing Grace.
It was all shine for you. Look how they shine for you. Look at the stars.
Katie Cooper, Veronika Weiss, Christopher Martinez, Weihan Wang, George Chen, and Cheng Yuan Hong. Please join us for a minute-long moment of silence.
Hi, my name is Sarah Lloyd. I go to UCSB. I'm a member of the Tri Delta sorority who lost two of their sisters this weekend. And it just means so much that you guys all came out here to support us. And it's nice to see the love that all the students can give each other. So, thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Rashmi. I go to UCLA. I went to high school in the Bay Area. Today the Bay Area lost 3 students. I'm personally here for James Hong. He went to Lynbrook High School. There wasn't a single word that came out of his mouth that wasn't kind, that wasn't sweet. He was always there to help me in class. He worked with me on the backdrop for homecoming. He was so involved. He put so much effort into everything that he did. And it's so heartbreaking to see that his life had come to an end, him and his roommate and his friend. And I'm so happy that all of you are here to support not only the Bay Area victims, but also everyone else who was affected, and it means a lot. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marduk Nadiosyan. I'm an alumni from UCSB. I didn't know Katie Cooper that well, we were acquaintances, but just want to say that every time she would see me, it was as if we were best friends. She was welcoming, she was a very genuine person. Everyone was great people, from what I hear. This was a tragedy, and it's the love that I'm seeing here, we're all seeing, this community support. Really appreciate it, and thank you.
At UCSB, I didn't know all of the victims, but I did know one, and I wrote a letter to Chris, and I just wanted to read it all to you. Dear Chris, I've been struggling with what to say for the past day or so, now 2 days, and I don't think I'll do it justice, but I'm going to try anyway. I want to start off by asking you a question. Have you ever just met someone and been eager to connect with them again? I have, and that person was you. I met you back in February during our group interview for those studying abroad in London next year. I remember being a bit apprehensive because I felt my decision was rushed and I didn't know a single person going into the program. I believe we sat next to each other that day and you admitted that you were considering different universities. This may not sound like a big deal, but knowing that I wasn't alone in the process significantly eased my concerns. After the interview, I approached you, which is not very common for me, as I often get nervous reaching out to those I don't know, and asked you what schools you were considering. Lo and behold, we were considering the same ones. I swear, fate brought us together because this was only one of many shared occurrences. I remember leaving this encounter ridiculously happy because I felt I had really connected with you and could share my dilemmas about going abroad with someone. Not a week had gone by when you went out of your way to email me and to check in to see if I had made up my mind. This further proved to me how genuine and thoughtful of a person you are. We exchanged emails only briefly, but I truly looked forward to getting to know you better. It is with a heavy heart I have to admit that I will never get that opportunity. You were the very first person I met going abroad to London, and thus the first one I expected to share this experience with. You made me feel comfortable with my decision and made me realize that you never know what kind of great folks you will meet if you step outside of your comfort zone. This whole time, I have felt like I didn't have a true purpose for going abroad, but I now know that purpose will be you. Every person I meet, place I see, and things I learn, I will dedicate to you and the experience you were robbed of. I am saddened that I will never get the chance to experience the friendship and memories we could have shared, but I am grateful to know in the short time that I knew you that there is indeed still hope for humanity despite the naysayers. My thoughts and prayers are with your family, and I thank you for simply being you, with all of my love.
Hi, my name is Kara Logan, and I go to UCLA. I went to high school with Chris, and I can honestly tell you he was one of the kindest, nicest people I've ever met. Even though we lost touch after graduation, it still doesn't make this loss any harder. So I thank all of you for being here today.
Hi everyone, my name is Nick Latinsky and I graduated from UCSB last year, and I didn't have the privilege of knowing those who passed away, but it's just really saddening to see that, you know, doing the simplest things such as walking down the streets of Isla Vista or grabbing a sandwich from a deli shop really is just like, you know, it's a blessing. It really makes me feel grateful, you know, just to be doing the simplest things, because you never know what can happen, and you never know, you know, when those things that you enjoy so much doing, it can be taken away from you. So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Mark Finster. I'm 26 years old, and I graduated from UCLA in 2010. I didn't know anyone involved in the shootings, but before I came to UCLA, I only spent 2 years here. I spent 2 years at UC Santa Barbara. When I first got to UCSB, I hated it. My first year was awful, and up until that point, I didn't know it was possible to be depressed, and somehow I was there, unhappy, didn't know what to do. Luckily, I found something that I was really passionate about when I was in Santa Barbara that turned my whole experience around, and that was cycling. Which, once I focused on that, I was able to move on, meet really good people, and love Santa Barbara. And when I got accepted into UCLA, I didn't know what to do, and I'm glad I came here. I know it's really tough, and I've struggled a lot with this weekend, but it's really tough to know what to do from these confusing, incredibly sad experiences. But if I could go back, and I really wish I could, I'd say take what you find that you love here in college, whether it's music or cycling or running or whatever it is, and share it with people. Reach out to people. If you know someone who's struggling, reach out to them. And don't let this happen again. And pray for the families. Thanks.
I don't see myself as a poet, but this has been very emotional for me, so I wrote a few lines. I'd like to read them. Bruins of UCLA stand united with gauchos of UCSB. We stand united against ignorance, against hatred, against fear. We stand united in favor of peace, in favor of acceptance, in favor of healing. Fiat lux, let there be light. Let there be light to guide us to peace, to acceptance, to healing. Let there be light to guide us away from ignorance, from hatred, from fear. Now and forevermore, Bruins of UCLA stand united with gauchos of UCSB. UCSB, alma mater of my mother and brother. Isla Vista, town where they both lived. May you find peace. Know that you are supported from all sides. Know that we all grieve with you. Know that you are not alone. May you find peace. To the departed, we will honor your memories. To the grieving, we will stand by your sides. May you find peace. Pity to the troubled heart that sees only sadness, fear, and hatred. May you find peace. Pity to the fractured soul whose happiness must come at the expense of another. May you find peace. Bruins of UCLA stand united with gauchos of UCSB, now and forevermore. Fiat lux.
Hey everyone, my name is Noor Youssef. I'm a freshman here at UCLA. My high school sends about, half of our kids to UCSB, so a lot of my friends go to UCSB, and the first thing I did when I found out about this, I texted my friends and I asked them how they were and if everything was okay. I didn't know it was as big of a deal as it was then, but two of my best friends, one of whom I've known since the 3rd grade, and one of them from high school was there. They were about to go to Isla Vista. They were on their way to IV when it happened. And it just made me think it could have been any of us, as an earlier speaker was saying. And it just goes to show you, I don't know what it would be like to miss Jasmine's smile or her laugh or how she talked. I don't know what these parents are feeling and what these kids are, their friends are feeling. I don't know what that feels like. And I never want to know what that feels like. But I think it's just affected me so much because it could have been any of us. It could have been any of our best friends. It could have been our family. And I think what we have to realize, I think Malcolm X said something along the lines of, from every adversity, from every heartbreak, from every tragedy, there comes a moment of clarity. And I think what we have to realize is our moment of clarity is how we change this, how we decide never to let this happen again. And I think we all need to realize there's a lot more of us who are united in love than there are the people who are proponents of hate and who do things like this. But I just would really like to encourage all of us to see how we can incite a change and how we can make this situation never happen again.
Hello everyone, my name is Rafi Hasib. I'm a second year here at UCLA. Seeing everyone out here tonight for this vigil reminds me of the motto or the sort of the theme of my high school graduation, that out of many we are one. And there's a verse that I always quote from scripture, from Islamic scripture, that says killing one human being is like killing all of humanity, and saving one human being is like saving all of humanity. Tonight, although I do not personally know any of the people that were killed, I feel like a part of me was also killed because a part of humanity was lost tonight. And I think one other thing that needs to be brought up is the mentality, the misogynistic mentality of the killer. And that we not only need to tonight my prayers go out to the victims of their families, but my prayers also go out to changing this misogynistic mentality, changing this mentality that women are only good for things concerning sex, that women are sex objects, that we need to wake up and realize that this is 2014, damn it. There is no excuse for anyone to have the mentality of this unfortunate individual, and that we need to have a support system to realize that women are absolutely equal to, if not superior to, men in every single way, and that they should be awarded the same opportunities and the same privileges, and that it is not okay to think that women need to give sex to a man, because that is not what they are here for. They are here as our equals, they are here as our mothers, our sisters, our daughters, and our friends. And I ask for forgiveness on behalf of all of us, and forgiveness on behalf of those that were lost to this tragedy, and in the hopes that we can recover from this in a way that not only brings peace to all of us, but brings a change of mentality in a society where we unfortunately propagate this misogyny, and in the hopes that we prevent killings like this, not just in America, but in countries all around the world where innocent lives are lost, where people are living under oppressed regimes, where people do not have the same opportunities that we have in America, and hopefully to live in a better world, because God does not change a community until the community changes itself. And seeing a community that I see here today, I have hope that one day we can change the world we live in for the better. Thank you, and may peace be with you all.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ken Myers. I'm a senior at UCLA, and I grew up my entire childhood in Santa Barbara. I had cousins and best friends who were affected by this adversity and by this tragedy. And I'm reminded of a quote that says, adversity does not reveal character, it does not build character, but rather reveals it. And I think of the character that I see here tonight and that I saw at UCSB throughout the weekend and continuously. And earlier tonight, there was a moment when the flame in my candle was almost snuffed out by the wind. But as you can see, it is still burning. And to me, this symbolizes that no matter how low or how dim our lights may be, there's the power in all of us and in each of us to reignite. And tonight has been a reignition for me, and I hope continues to be for all of you and for UCSB moving forward as well.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm a senior here, and I'm from Seal Beach, which is a tiny beach town in Orange County that no one had ever heard of until October 2011, when a gunman went into a hair salon on Main Street, a street that we had all grown up on and spent most summer days on, and shot 8 people, including 2 of my friends' moms. And if I learned anything from the first time and from all the horrible moments of deja vu I've experienced this weekend, it's that you don't ever really get over it, you just learn to carry it with you a little better. And some days are harder than others, but all you can do is carry it with you and honor victims and remember everything they stood for. So you hug your friends a little tighter, and you always say I love you when you say goodbye, because you never know if it's going to be the last time. Thanks.
Hello, my name's Jim. I am a father of a UCLA student and a UC Santa Barbara. When the tragedy was happening, my daughter was right above her apartment. She was in her apartment right above 7-Eleven. And I just couldn't really express how sad it is, especially for parents. This is my wife, Lilibeth.
When my daughter called me that night, as a mother, I felt the relief of knowing that my daughter is safe. She was inside her apartment, but she did hear the gunshots. But my heart goes out to the parents of the unimaginable pain of losing a child.
Hi everyone, my name is Kayla Bergman. I'm a sophomore at UCSB.
Hi, I'm Shannon. I'm also a sophomore at UCSB.
Thank you all so much for coming out. I was working across the street when the shootings happened, and I heard all the bullets at Ivy Deli where Chris was murdered. And so this has been really hard on me, and I just want to say thank you all for your support and all your love, and yeah, thank you.
And I just wanted to thank everyone again for coming out. This means a lot. This is my home, and well, LA is my home, and it makes me feel so at ease knowing that everyone supports us, and thank you all for all your support and love.
Hi everyone, my name is David Pereira. I'm a current UCLA graduate student and alumni from UC Santa Barbara class of 2012. It's hard for me to really express what goes on in my mind because for the longest time I enjoyed the 4 years that I've lived in Santa Barbara for the most part, and I've always thought of Santa Barbara and Isla Vista as a paradise, a utopia. It's hard to really explain it, but everyone there is really nice. Everyone invites you into their home with open arms, and it was literally the last place on earth that I could think of such a tragedy happening. It's hard to really express how scared I've felt when I heard the news and how scared I still feel now because that paradise is somehow lost. I went to visit Santa Barbara Saturday morning, and I could still see the police and the news reporters everywhere in IV, and I could see the Ivy Deli Mart, and I saw the bullet holes in the windows, and it was hard for me to imagine just how real it was, because I would pass by that place every single day on my bike, and just going from one place to another. But yeah, I think for the first time in a while I felt really scared. But I think what is helping me get through it is seeing how all of the community in IV and Santa Barbara is coming together for this one moment. And I've never been prouder to be a gaucho, and thank you for, because of all you guys here tonight, I've never been prouder to be a Bruin as well. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Weiss, and I graduated UCSB in 2011, and I re-graduated in 2012 for my graduate degree. And I just think this is such a beautiful display of community, and I just think it shows that it doesn't matter if you went to UCSB or UCLA or any of the UCs, or you're just a human being and you understand the gravity of the situation. But I want to teach you a little song, and maybe I can get my UCSB alumni to help me out, but it goes like this. Ole, 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 ole. Gauchos, gauchos. That's the whole song, so everybody can join in. Ole, 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 ole. Gauchos, gauchos.
Hello everyone, my name is Andy Sue, and I'm an Asian American student at the University of Southern California. And we're here in solidarity with UCSB, UCLA, and all those that are suffering. And actually the last time I was here on UCLA, the campus, I was also here for another event of solidarity following hateful attacks on women. I was here for the USC-UCLA Community Town Hall Forum in response to the hate flyer that was sent to our Asian American cultural centers. And the anonymous hate flyer was attacking Asian women for choosing to date white men. And we don't know who sent the flyer, but a lot of people speculate that the authors are Asian American men. And this is coming from comments that they hear on the daily about misogynistic attitudes, where men feel entitled to women, our women. And the hate and the dehumanization of women just led to this flyer that was sent to both USC and UCLA. And following that, we came together as a community to cope and to realize that change needed to be enacted to stop something like this from happening and to take a stand against these kind of injustices. And so again, I'm here today standing in solidarity and reminding everyone that really these thoughts, the dehumanization of other people, the hatred, the prejudice that's developed, a lot of it we are conditioned to believing so because of systems that are in place. And I really caution you to think about these systems that are in place and to reflect on when you have these kind of thoughts of hate and prejudice. And we need to work collectively to make sure that such thoughts never exist again. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is John Hill. I'm from Coronado High School down in San Diego. I have many good friends that live on the same street as where some of the shootings were, and thankfully none of them were affected directly. But one thing about my town that I'd like to share is that that is one place where the Navy SEALs train. And in their training, one of the things that they do is they bring them south of the base to the mud flats, and they tell all the recruits to go get in the mud. And the water's freezing, it's about 50 degrees. They're up to their necks, they're dirty, they're cold, the wind is howling. And the instructors tell them, if 5 of you quit, you can get out. All it takes is 5 of you to give up on training, and all of you can get out. And after a while, they're all suffering. And one voice in the very back of the pack, someone from what they call the Smurf Squad, one of the shortest guys, starts singing a song very loud, very out of key. And everyone else starts to join in. The instructors say, if you don't stop that right now, you're going to be in here even longer, for even more hours. They had 8 hours left until the sun had risen. And they didn't care what the instructor said because it made the water feel a little bit warmer, made the wind feel a little bit softer. No matter how bad it got for them, the louder they sung, the better they felt about it. And one thing that shows is that the more you guys stick together, the more we all stick together, it doesn't matter how hard it's going to get, as long as we're all together, eventually we're all going to come out of it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Katrina, and I'm a transfer student. And I transferred from Santa Barbara City College. And the past year not being there has been really hard because it's been in the news. And actually the last time I was there for a Candlelight Vigil for a friend of mine I lost at Deltopia. And I'm really tired of seeing Ivy in the news because it's a home to so many people. And it's been a home to probably a lot of you when you go down for the weekend. And I just want to say that the victims tonight are still here, and I know a lot of you have been personally affected. And I'm looking at these beautiful cranes, and it makes me think that we just gained 6 angels, and that they're flying around and looking down because, like everybody said, this is a community, and UC is our home, and UCSB is home to so many people. And I want you to be sensitive to everybody that's going through this right now, because it's their home. Their home was shot at. Think if your home was shot at. And I just want to say I love you all, and thank you so much for coming out.
Hi. I'm Raj. I'm a first year here at UCLA. I debated a lot before coming up here because I didn't feel like my feelings would do justice to this event, because I don't personally know anyone that's been affected, and I'm grateful for that. But I wanted to share something. I was sitting in my hotel room with my parents because they were visiting me for the weekend when we saw the news of this. And the first thing that happened was my mom hugged me so hard. And I said to her, "Mom, I'm fine. Why are you hugging me?" And she said, "Son, that could have easily been you." And that brings the greatest fear into my head. And what I thought from that is, of all the friends I have in SB, thinking of losing them, thinking of anything happening to them, brings the greatest fear into my head, takes me to the darkest place in my mind, and it gives me a small glimpse, because it isn't reality, of how those affected feel. Most of us here probably haven't been affected by this, and we should be grateful. But I challenge those who haven't to go to that dark place in your mind and just imagine losing someone you know, one of your friends, one of your close relatives, anyone, and get a glimpse of how those that have been affected feel. I don't know how you would feel about it, but for me, it gives me so much respect and honor for those that have been affected to keep walking and keep going about their days, because it is so hard to deal with something like this, and it just gives me so much honor and so much respect for them. And I challenge those who haven't been affected to get a glimpse of that and give yourself a better understanding. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kim. I go to UCLA here, and I'm a third year, and I'm also a proud member of Tri Delta. The thing is, when I joined Tri Delta, it was very easy for me to fall in love with all those girls, and ever since then, I've wanted to protect them and stand up for them in every possible way. And that continued even when I went to Memphis for a convention and met many other Tri Deltas across the world. Seeing that 2 Tri Deltas passed away really broke my heart, but also that 2 sorority members and 2 women passed away, because I stand with a lot of respect for women who join an organization and want to work for a greater good, and that man attacked their right to be women. He attacked their right to say no. And I just stand here and ask that I want an ally. I want to know that I will be safe in the future, and that my future Tri Deltas and my future sorority women and my school will always feel safe to me. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Tamar, and my sisters, I have 3 of them. They go to UC Santa Barbara. and we were actually there when the shooting was happening. It was a matter of like a minute. We could have all been standing there, but we decided to stay in, and we heard all of it and all that, but it's just another reminder that timing is everything, and don't take life for granted. Don't ever take anything for granted. Those innocent lives were taken, and they shouldn't have been taken. Those families will never be the same. They'll never be the same. They lost a part of them, and I pray for them, and I'm just thankful that everyone in my family was safe, and I hope they get the peace they need. Those families and those angels, we will never forget them, and they're heroes, and just always be thankful for what you have, and kiss the ones that you love, hug them tighter, and thank you. Thank you all for coming and supporting Santa Barbara.
Hi, my name is Fiona. I'm a third year here at UCLA, and well, first of all, I'm very grateful that I'm not personally affected by this, and my heart goes out to everyone who is. But I wanted to come up here and thank the gentlemen who have spoken tonight against misogyny. I know that I don't hear that enough, and I am so grateful that you have spoken tonight. It gives me so much hope to know that as a woman I'm not alone, and that you gentlemen and everyone here tonight is standing with us against this. And hopefully, I just want to encourage people to speak out more, because if they do, then maybe our words will reach troubled souls like the troubled soul who caused these events. Maybe we can prevent this just by speaking out a little bit more and showing each other a little more love. So thank you.
Hi. It's dripping on me now. My name's Christina, and I'm a UCLA student who transferred from Santa Barbara. Isla Vista was my home, and I have many people I love there. So I just like to say I'm very grateful that here you're all supporting it.
Hi everybody, my name is Justin. I'm currently a fourth year student here at UCLA, but I served my first 2 years at UC Santa Barbara. I have some of my greatest memories, both in college and my life, at Santa Barbara and Isla Vista, and some of my best friends in the world there as well. I actually went back to visit about a week before this event happened, and got to meet all of my really good friends who are still there. And as soon as I heard about this, I called them all up, and luckily they were about to go out to IV, but at the last minute decided to change plans and stay home. So that was, I guess, a stroke of luck. And I personally didn't know any of the victims, but my heart goes out to all of their families and all of their friends and all the people who care about them. But it gives me a great sense of pride as well to know that my fellow peers at UCLA and UCSB are joining united to celebrate this tragedy together. And that gives me great pride both to be a Gaucho as well as to be a Bruin. So for that, I thank you all for coming out.
Hi everyone, my name is Sharon Pekar. I'm a graduate of UC Santa Barbara. I graduated in 2012, and I was a member of Tried Out. And when I heard about Katie and Veronika, my mind immediately rushed back to how much love and how much acceptance they must have felt as Tried Outs. Because when I rushed as a second year, I felt so out of place in Santa Barbara, and I know that they were surrounded with so much love. There is not one bad experience that I had as a member of that sorority. And I'm just grateful that they had the opportunity to meet the Tried Outs and be a part of such a sisterhood. And I feel so much love and warmth from all of you for being so loving toward the Gaucho community and toward Isla Vista, because it was my home. So thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Danica. I graduated UCSB in the fall, and I'm I'm gonna be walking the stage June 15th there, but I moved here to start my life, and I've just never felt so guilty not being there for my friends right now. And I'm really glad this event is happening because it offers a lot of support. 3 of my friends were shot. They're okay. 1 in the leg, 1 in the arm, and the other in the arm as well. And I've never wanted to be back in Ivy so badly, just to support everyone. And I'm just, again, thank you so much for coming. And I really am so glad this event is happening. Like, it means so much to me, so thank you.
Hi, my name is Randy Chow. I'm a second year here at UCLA. When I first heard about this, I got on the phone with some of my friends, and one of them, luckily for him, he decided to stay in that evening. And the other one lived right across from where Veronika and Katherine were killed. But the thing is, it could have easily been any of us. David Wang was from my hometown of Fremont, California. I got off of the phone with my parents today, and even though our family didn't personally know him, we're pretty shaken up about it. I didn't personally know any of the victims, but my heart goes out to them, and my heart goes out to the residents of IV who had their safety and their security horribly robbed from them that night. A lot of them are really shaken up. One of my best friends, he can't even go out at night. He's really badly shaken up about it. One of my acquaintances, his name is Dr. Andrew Lee. He said that it is very easy to take a life, and it is very, very difficult to preserve one, and let alone nurture one. We really need to be there for each other so we can help nurture each other, be there for each other, for someone, be there for someone to listen to someone, and be there as their emotional support. And I just want to leave off with what Chris Martinez's father said. He said, "Not one more." We have to look within ourselves and ask ourselves, how can we prevent this from happening again? And within ourselves, one by one, we can make a change. Thank you.
It doesn't really matter right now. It's just primarily the fact that, I mean, we all chose to go to UCSB for a reason. We all wanted that community, that family, and quite frankly, like, I did not go to alumni weekend for years. I'm only 24, but I just decided to go there this past year. And when I went, it was so incredibly amazing to me, the fact that I felt a sense of family that I can't even articulate, like, my feelings. Like, when I was there with everybody, I felt at home. And it's so disgustingly, like, devastating, like, disgusting. What the fuck just happened? Like, I can't even articulate to you how much that, like, negatively affected me. Like, where he landed and where he shot himself to death was right in front of my best friend's fucking home on DP, and I live right next to her. And it's not, like, how does that even happen? Like, it was just so sad, and I feel so bad for everybody. I didn't know any of them, to be honest. Like, I didn't know any of them, but the fact that that happened at our hometown, why? Why is it progressively getting worse? It seems like it's getting worse to me, because the riots just happened after Deltopia. Why? Why? And how do we help them? And, like, this guy, like, had he only known me, like, I'm the friendliest person you will ever fucking meet. I swear to God. Why didn't I know him to even help? But was he even seeking that? After seeing those videos, was he even seeking that? I don't even know. But my heart is with them, And I hope we all do this, and I hope to God it never happens to any of us, but like, if it does, we should always be there to support one another. And I love them. I love the people that passed away. And I even love the fucking asshole who did it, because you have to. But anyways, peace.
Hi, my name's Alicia Mackler, and I'm a tridelt at UCSB. On Friday night at 9 p.m., I was in my apartment, and I heard the shots ring out. And 12 hours later, I learned that these girls that were killed were my sisters. Nobody should have to lose a sister. Nobody should have to lose their child or a friend. So on behalf of my chapter, my sisterhood, and my community, I want to say thank you so much for all the love and support. The solidarity has really helped us, and it means a lot. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sanan, and I'm a freshman here at UCLA. And I'm from New York. I'm out of state. And I have to say that coming to UCLA has really made me think about who is important in my life. And so this one goes out to all the loved ones of the victims and the victims themselves. I remember my parents called me up just the morning after the incident, and the tone of my mom's voice was just so frightening, and she was so worried. And I love my family, and I love everyone back home, and I would never want something like this to happen. I would never want something like this to affect them. Thank you.
I would like to speak as a woman, as someone who has suffered with mental health issues herself, and as a victim of gender-based violence, to say that as horrifying and shocking as this tragedy is, the one thing it shouldn't be is a surprise. We have created a world and a culture in which this makes sense, which is the saddest thing of all. We live in a world where friend zoning is a concept that we all know what it is, in which when a man gives his friendship and kindness to a woman, he is owed access to her body in return. It may seem like a harmless pop culture thing to say, but it's not. It's that culture, the insufficient support of mental health, easy access to guns, and the dehumanization of women across the board that made this happen. And it's up to us to change the way that we live in the world and the way we talk about people to prevent things like this from happening. This was not a senseless crime. It made perfect sense, which is the most horrible thing of all. Thank you.
Hi. Like the last speaker, I come here as a woman and as someone who has also suffered some mental health problems. I have severe social anxiety, so I know a bit about loneliness and a bit about rejection. And what I have to say is that loneliness and rejection do not cause murder. Loneliness and rejection make people sad, and I encourage everyone to reach out to anyone around them who's feeling lonely. But no one is to blame for not reaching out to a person who hated women, who hated other men. That's not your responsibility, and I don't want anyone to feel like it ever was. So yes, be there for each other, nurture each other, but place the blame where it belongs, and that is on hatred. Thank you.
I lived in Isla Vista for 5 years, and I spent 5 peaceful, incredible years there. And I just want everyone to understand that it's a town that was rooted in love. And what happened was just a shock to everybody. This is something you see school shootings happen in the news. You never, ever would expect it to happen at UCSB, not in Isla Vista, where people take pride in being chill and respecting each other. And all I can say is that we all stand in solidarity, and that's all we can do is move forward with awareness and compassion. It's easy to call this guy the sick fuck that he was, but at the end of the day, all we have is love and compassion.
I would like to thank the last speaker for saying that about all we have is love. I was asked by a reporter just a few minutes ago why I was here, and I told her I couldn't not be here. And
it's important because over this weekend we've all been emotionally tired and we've seen people on Facebook argue and talk about issues that are important like misogyny and gun control, which we can't forget, and we can't downplay these terrible things in the tragedy, but we have to remember the victims as people, as human beings, and I urge everyone to not, if they can help it, gather any more hatred, because hatred only breeds more hatred, and misunderstanding only breeds more hatred, and this killer is inexcusable, perhaps unforgivable, but he is not ununderstandable, and if we can understand, we can prevent, and because he was a hater, and killers hate, and we shouldn't hate, because that's what killers do. Thank you.
We thank everyone for coming here tonight and standing together in support of each other. Together, we can move through this difficult time. I thank everyone who spoke tonight, and I hope that we can all go back and take these messages of peace and messages of love into our lives. Thank you very much.
And I'd also like to thank a few people that made this night possible. Harsh Karthik with the UCLA Origami Club, who organized these 1,000 paper cranes in a show of peace. And if anybody has some that you made and brought, feel free to add those to the steps before you leave. I'd also like to thank the UCLA administration for being very supportive of this event, and also Andy from USC for bringing some of these candles and showing his support. So thank you all for coming. Stay safe and have a good night.